Detroit Den family, welcome back. Stephen Will, still celebrating our victory Monday. Big win yesterday over the Saints. Actually got to watch a little bit of the Packers and Chiefs last night too. So we're going to talk today a little bit about who's the threat to the Detroit Lions. The division is pretty much not officially wrapped up, but I'm saying I think my ticket rep needs to be giving me a call and asking, if I want to upgrade my seats. Is all I'm going to say. Will, how you feeling?
I'm feeling the exact same way. I'm waiting for that rep to say, "Hey guys, do you guys want to move up to the front row, or like what are we doing here?
I'm
What's going on?"
surprised they haven't asked us to be like, some type of entertainment for the crowd while things are going on during warm-ups or halftime. I think we could put on a better show than Jack Harlow. I'll just say that.
That was bad. That was bad.
Yeah, but we got to watch a little bit of the Packers and Chiefs play last night. Packers, Vikings, they're kind of hanging around in that wild card team. And I mean, they're in our division, but when it comes to winning the division, I don't really see them as a threat just based. I mean, I hope I'm not putting my foot in my mouth later in the year. But we got 5 games left to play and a 3-game lead. So I'm just doing the math. Like, if we just win 2 more games, it's pretty much a wrap. We need the Vikings and Packers to lose 1. The division could be wrapped up week 15 when we take on the Denver Broncos at home, a game that got flexed. So
Yeah.
who do you think is the biggest threat to the Lions right now?
Man, I'll tell you this, and I'm not going to use the word that I use sometimes, which is terrified, but I will say that the Green Bay Packers and Jordan Love make me very nervous. Yesterday watching that game, Jordan Love going into KC and just, I think he threw for 3 tutties, no interceptions, and he looked very comfortable.
I'm not
How you
worried.
feel about him?
I'm not worried about Jordan Love. Like, look, I know we're fresh off a loss, but I also look at that game and say we gave them 3 extra possessions. That's how I look at it. If we clean some things up, we play Detroit Lions football, I think we're a better team than the Packers. So 3 extra possessions and we lost by 1 score. That's how I kind of look at it. Maybe I'm just kind of justifying a loss. I don't know. But when I look at the Packers, Jordan Love has played better. He looked very good last night at times, but I also watched him last night miss some throws or really just overthrow a receiver. So I kind of want to break down the expectations a little bit for the Packers because I heard a lot of comparisons to Aaron Rodgers. I definitely didn't see no Aaron Rodgers type play out there. So I mean, he
Yeah, I
made some
didn't see
throws,
Aaron
but he
Rodgers play
missed some
either.
throws too.
Yeah, he missed some throws, man, but he was just super poised. He just, like I talk about all the time, he extended plays. And even when that adversity monster came into play, he didn't look like he was rattled at all. And I just look at what this guy's been through, just coming in, why'd he get drafted, Aaron Rodgers kind of shunning him a little bit, then him getting a job and nobody wanting him to have the job and say that everybody was saying that he was going to be terrible. Us being overjoyed that he got the job, like, oh man, this is going to be a bye week, to seeing where he is now, man. It's kind of like our quarterback story, man. Jared Goff. We a lot of people thought that he was sent out to Detroit to die, and he bounced back. And he showed everybody that he is a very capable quarterback, and he's been doing this thing ever since. So I think that he hasn't thrown an interception in the last 3 games. He's just been playing solid football. We're looking at 300 yards, 322, almost 300. The last 2, taking care of the football, running when he needs to. I just think that he's a very capable dude, and then that team is receiver by committee. You can't really key in on who their guy is going to be week to week. Watson came on strong. He had a hamstring injury at the end of the game. I'm not going to wish bad things on him, but if it slowed him down just a little bit, I would be okay with it.
Well, I will say this. You're right. Christian Watson injured his hamstring last night, and I was reading a report that the team is the exact words in the article were very concerned with that hamstring injury. So bad luck. It sucks. Don't want to cheer for a player to get hurt. I remember the play. He got the ball and he kind of went toward the sideline, and I thought he was going to do something really stupid and go out of bounds. He tried to take a knee, kind of came up a little ginger. They had to walk him off the field, and they were talking about how he had an injury on the hamstring earlier in the year that made him miss some games. So 5 games left and your best receiver goes down is probably not going to help Jordan Love out too much. I don't think the receiving core, I like Reed. I don't really care for Dobbs. They got those 2 rookie tight ends, but their passing game doesn't really scare me, especially if Watson's out. I think that's going to be quite maybe even a critical blow.
Yeah, I think it'll definitely be a critical blow to him because he was coming on strong, man. My fantasy team isn't happy about it. I'll say that. But other than that, man, What you think about these Minnesota Vikings?
The Pastronaut? Is that what they're calling Josh Dobbs still? Or is it the astronaut with an
I
emphasis?
thought you were going with Jada Pickett Smith.
I am, but I started seeing Vikings fans calling him the Pastronaut, but I said, I think you guys need to drop the P. He's just astronaut.
Yeah, last time we seen him, he did throw 4 picks.
I think it was 5, wasn't it?
I thought it was 4, but it might have been 5. I don't know. A lot of picks.
I think I might even pick them off once. I can't remember. It's been so many, but the real Josh Dobbs is starting to show up. He had a nice little 2-3 game stretch there where he was playing really, really well. But I do remember watching him last year shit the bed for the Tennessee Titans in essentially a playoff game with the Jags, and he single-handedly cost the Titans a playoff chance. So I'm not worried about Josh Dobbs. But I do know that the Vikings are getting Justin Jefferson back. And that's going to help whoever the quarterback is. I don't care. You get a receiver like Justin Jefferson back, it's going to be a problem. But again, he's missed half the season, I think. So how game ready is he really going to be? So I don't know. I think I'm more worried about the Packers.
Yeah, I'm definitely more worried about the Packers. I just don't understand what the Minnesota Vikings are doing just with football decisions in general. They trade for Cam Akers, and he don't really play that much. And Chancellor seems like he's been having, a better season than Akers or Chandler, and then Madison. You get rid of Cook, like Madison is going to be the guy, and it's trading us to get J-Mo, trading in the conference, Hawkinson trade. Like I just don't know, man. Like I don't get what they're doing. Going to get Dobbs. Like what are we doing? I don't get what they're doing.
I think there was better quarterbacks that they could have went out and got. I mean, I don't know. I like I said, Josh Dobbs played really well for like 2 or 3 games, but I knew that's not sustainable for Josh Dobbs. Like it's working because no one really is expecting it to work. Once he started playing okay, everyone was like, all right, this is what he does well. Let's take it away from him.
Hi, Nala.
So, yeah, sorry. The dog's just going nuts. She's just not happy about something. I apologize, everyone. Packers, when it comes down to it, I think they have the better quarterback. Their offensive line looked really good yesterday, too. I know Darisaw for the Vikings is a top offensive lineman, but when I have to compare their 2 rosters, I have to give the edge to Green Bay. And obviously, I think I'm being a little unbiased because I hate Green Bay more. But I think they have a more all-around team than the Vikings do. So I don't know if I want to call them a concern because as it sits right now, the Lions would be playing the Vikings, 3 seed versus 6. So I mean, a lot can happen. There's some teams on the bubble, but that's who we would be playing if the season ended today. So how do you think that game would go?
Man, I think that we got the Vikings, man, a couple times here real soon.
Yeah, we could play them 3 out of 4 games.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think we're going to see, but I will say, man, their quarterback play, it doesn't scare me. The only thing that does make me a pinch nervous is the fact that if Dobbs does play, he's mobile, and we've had problems with mobile quarterbacks. But if we don't figure out how to play mobile quarterbacks over the next 5 weeks, 6 weeks, then we'll never figure out how to do it because everyone that we play can move.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday.
Yeah, so I think that this will be a prime opportunity for us rolling into this playoff run to kind of get used to how we're going to combat playing against these mobile quarterbacks and prepare for it. So I think that maybe just because of conference rivals are conference rivals, and it's hard to beat teams 2 times in a row. Us playing them twice in 3 weeks, isn't it twice in 3 weeks, I believe?
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, but playing them twice in 3 weeks, maybe they sneak out with one of those games by some miracle. But when it comes playoff time, man, if we play them, we're gonna buckle down and beat them up. What do you think?
It's hard for me to break down a game that hasn't happened yet, so I'm really not sure. I think what we do is a lot on the show is we look at roster for roster. I don't know. I think our offense is better than their offense, but their defense is way better than ours. So it's going to be a nice combination to see which group's going to win because something's got to give. I don't know. I would look at the Lions, and I think we all know what the issue is. Can't get to the quarterback. Can't get home. Mobile quarterback. I think we have some guys who could spy, but you don't want to be playing a spy on Josh Dobbs all game. I don't know. We know what the issues are with the Lions, and it's just something that I think you and me specifically, that's a tough word to say, specifically, you and me have kind of just thrown in the towel and said, look, this is what it is. This pass rush is just what we have. There's nothing we can really do about it. You have what you have. can you maybe get lucky? Yeah, because we've seen the worst of the worst. Maybe it gets a little better, but I don't know. We're just kind of stuck with what we got, I guess.
Yeah, I think for the season we are, man. This is our team. This is what it's going to be. It's going to be this offense getting in shootouts. I mean, and not to toot our own horn, man, but we said that I think week 1 and 2. Like, this is going to be a team that is going to have their offense show up and be in shootouts, be ready to be in shootouts. And hopefully we don't have to be in them every week. Hopefully we can figure out a way to get some stops when we need to in situations to get the games under control. We talk about this as the type of team that needs to find a way to get stops in the first half, get a lead, and make teams one-dimensional for our defense to be successful. But that's the blueprint for us. So if we have teams playing against us in second halves with full playbook arsenals open, it's going to be tough for us. But if we do the contrary, this offense gets going like it did against the New Orleans Saints. We pad a lead, make the offenses one-dimensional, and instead of letting them creep back in, keep them out of games, then we'll be just fine, and we'll be able to to compete. But I think people forget too, man. While Carr isn't the greatest quarterback in the world, he's a solid QB, man. He got paid for a reason. The
Former
Saints
Pro
wanted
Bowler.
him for a reason.
You don't make the Pro Bowl by being bad.
You know what I mean? And then you got Kamara. You know, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think he ends up as a Hall of Famer, man. I think he's a monster of a running back. Yeah, I think Kamara will sneak into the Hall of Fame, man. I don't think he's one of the best running backs that of his time, I think. Dual threat running back. And then Chris Olave has been playing out of his mind, man. I mean, they're just not a terrible offense. I think people were chalking them up like they're just bad. Like, I heard a couple people saying, like, man, we let this offense move the ball on us and yada yada yada. I'm like, man, while maybe they're not top 3 offenses in the NFL, they're not the Philly, Buffalo, San Francisco. Like, there's not an offense like that. They're still a capable offense, man.
Yeah, they got a good young core. Real quick, you know, I think I've told you this way before we even started this podcast. My dream for the playoffs this year, I need those Rams coming to Detroit. I need to see Matt Stafford become a villain for this whole city, to someone to hate for just one game. And it's still realistic. Like, looking at the standings, so since this is a playoff show that we're talking here, the Rams are sitting at the 8th spot. So they're tied with Green Bay. You're down at 8 for some tiebreaker stuff that we're not going to really get into. But I want you to think, do you think that the fans would boo Matt Stafford if he returned in a playoff atmosphere?
I'll say this. I won't boo Matt Stafford.
I will, just for one night.
I won't, man. I love Matt Stafford, man. And I was critical of Matt Stafford while he was here. And by critical, I mean, I felt like he was a guy that was better than Jared Goff, slightly better than Jared Goff.
I'm better than Jared Goff. I mean, we're not really saying last year.
But I also felt like with Matt Stafford, he wasn't a guy that was I felt like he had an elite arm, but I felt like some of the time, and I don't know if it was playing so long in Detroit, he would just try to force the ball into situations to where just trying to make a play. And he got out there with the Rams and he got a defense and he just put the points up that he needed to go win him a Super Bowl. So, and I was happy for him, but he went through all that abuse here in Detroit, man, and just kept showing up, playing with broken necks and fractured backs and going out for 0-16 teams, man, and putting on for the city. So I don't have it in me to boo him.
I'll tell you right now, I love Matt Stafford. I'm with you on everything you just said. But if this is a playoff game and the Rams come here, he is my number one enemy for that day. For that day and that day only. So answer the question. Do you think other fans will agree with me, or are they going to applaud him when he comes running out of that tunnel?
I think they'll applaud him, man.
There's no chance. I tell you what, if you guys are cheering for another quarterback in a playoff atmosphere, sell your tickets and don't come to the game. Matt Stafford is going to be the most hated man in Detroit for one day.
I think what'll happen, truly, this is what I see. This is a vision. I think that he comes out in the pregame and he gets an applause. And then after that, we flip the switch and he's our arch rival until it's off with his head at midfield, and then everybody is feeling bad, saying great things about him at his funeral. So it's I don't want it, man. I know you talked about it, and I do see the vision, and I do think that it could be electric, man. I 100% agree, but I just don't want it, man. I don't want Stafford coming to Detroit and just having to deal with my heart won't be torn. I'll be cheering for the Lions, but just having to watch, it's just my old friend.
One of our greatest quarterbacks in franchise history is just the most hated man in the city.
Oh gosh,
I need it. I just need the headlines. I need the content. I need the conversations to happen on this podcast. There's a lot of things I could do with this Matt Stafford dream scenario. So I've been putting it out there for a long time, way before the season even started.
You have.
And I said the Rams were kind of struggling, but maybe they get a little hot this year, and they're sitting right there in that 8 spot. So that's what I need. Who would your dream scenario be for a team to play in the playoffs?
Honestly, man.
And don't say the Carolina Panthers.
No, it's obviously it'd probably be a little bit closer to that conference championship, but I want Micah Parsons, man.
At home?
Oh yeah, come to Detroit and I told you it's on site. He might not even get to play. I might go down on the field and put hands on. Anyways,
oh boy,
no, I would love to see Micah Parsons leaving Ford Field with his head hanging low, maybe tears, because I would be trying to jump on the field and get a cup and just catch his tears so I could drink them. That's how I feel about Micah Parsons.
All right, so I want the Rams. You want the Cowboys. We've talked about the Packers. We've talked about the Vikings. Seahawks are another team. We're not going to fully dive into that. We played them before. We know that they're a threat to us for some reason. I don't know what goes on when we play Seattle. They just got our number, I guess. So, yeah, we're going to wrap this show up, guys. Let us know who you want to see in the playoffs, what the scenario is, how you're feeling about possibly, the odds are in our favor getting that home playoff game. Leave a comment. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button. We'll be back tomorrow with some more content.
Peace.